She built her brand on self-love, then completely changed herself. Imagine spending 6 years building an audience around one message: you are enough exactly as you are. And then, almost overnight, doing the exact opposite of everything you preached. That's what happened with Clara, and the internet did not let it slide. For those who don't know Clara, here's the short version. She built her platform around something a lot of people genuinely needed to hear: body positivity. Specifically, she talked openly about having a flat chest, about feeling insecure, about choosing to accept herself anyway. And people loved her for it. Not in the fake parasocial way, in the "this person actually gets me" way. She had years of content, years of community, years of trust. And then, everything changed. First came the surgery. Clara announced she'd gotten breast augmentation. Now, here's the thing. Surgery is a personal choice, and a person is allowed to change their mind about their body. That's not controversial on its own. What was controversial was the explanation. She said she did it because she was bored. Not because she struggled with her decision. Not because she'd gone through a personal journey. Bored. Like changing a hairstyle. And for followers who had been emotionally supported by her content, people who had used her words to make peace with their own bodies, that landed like a gut punch. But okay, people can be clumsy when explaining personal decisions. We've all been there. Except, then came the OnlyFans. Clara announced she was starting an OnlyFans account. And again, the decision itself isn't really the issue here. Adults make choices about their image, their content, their brand. The issue was the pattern. When asked why, Clara said she wanted to do something no one expected. She wanted freedom, spontaneity. She described starting OnlyFans as a very spontaneous decision, something she'd never tried and thought might be fun. She even said she felt freer than she'd ever felt in her life. And here's where it gets interesting. Her audience started asking a very logical question. Clara, you come from a wealthy family. By your own admission, you could stop working today and maintain your lifestyle forever. So what is this actually about? Her answer? She wanted to be rebellious. Now, I'm not here to tell anyone what rebellion should look like. But when you've spent years positioning yourself as a thoughtful, values-driven creator, calling your decisions rebellion and freedom without any deeper reflection starts to feel a little thin. And her audience felt that. Because here's what people noticed. Every time Clara made a decision that surprised or confused people, she reframed it as empowerment. Surgery? Empowering. OnlyFans? Freedom. Shock value? Rebellion. The world kept changing. The logic stayed the same. And that's actually a bigger cultural conversation. Because Clara isn't alone in this. There's a specific playbook some creators follow where any controversial choice gets wrapped in liberation language. And it works.
Here's what I think is actually happening. Clara built her brand on vulnerability, and vulnerability is powerful. It creates real connection, real loyalty. But it also comes with responsibility, because your audience doesn't just watch you, they invest in you. They take your words seriously. Some of them changed how they felt about themselves because of what you said. When you completely reverse course and then seem to mock the old version of yourself through sarcastic reels, you're not just rebranding. You're essentially telling your audience the thing you related to, that was content, not conviction. And that's what broke the trust. It wasn't the surgery, it wasn't the OnlyFans, it was the dismissiveness, the sense that years of connection meant less to her than the novelty of doing something unexpected. There's also the relationship element. Clara was with someone named Havi during this period, and people noticed behavioral changes that seemed to coincide with that relationship. Some viewers theorized the surgery was connected to wanting to please him. The truth? We don't know, but the timeline was hard to ignore. And when the backlash hit, Havi exited. The breakup became messy publicly, which frankly added another layer of disappointment for followers who had watched it unfold. Before we wrap, I want to be clear about something. Criticizing someone's choices isn't the same as dehumanizing them, and that distinction matters a lot, especially when OnlyFans is part of the conversation. There are creators who use platforms like OnlyFans because of genuine financial need, survival, or circumstances that weren't in their control. That deserves empathy, not judgment. We've seen how public figures were treated when they entered mainstream spaces after being associated with adult content. Some of that treatment was cruel, embarrassing even. The critique of Clara isn't about the platform. It's about the pattern of how she used ideas like empowerment and freedom as cover for decisions that might just be controversial choices. And there's a difference. Real rebellion, when you have the privilege Clara openly admits to, looks like using your platform for something that actually costs you something. Speaking on issues that matter, not performing freedom, living it quietly.
So where does Clara stand now? Her audience has shrunk. The trust that took years to build evaporated faster than anyone expected, including, I guess, her. The controversy brought a spike in attention, sure. The OnlyFans sold out. The business metrics probably looked good for a moment. But the community? That's gone. And communities are a lot harder to rebuild than subscriber counts. At 27, with years of internet experience, Clara knows how this works, which is maybe why so many people find it strange that she still seemed caught off guard by the reaction. The real question her audience is sitting with now isn't about OnlyFans or surgery. It's simpler than that. Who is the real Clara? The one who spent years talking about self-acceptance with sincerity, or the one who called it boring content?
That's not a question I can answer, but it's the one her audience is still waiting on. All right, that's where I'm leaving this one. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Clara's changes were genuine, or was the original brand always more calculated than it seemed? If you want more of this kind of breakdown, subscribe. I cover this stuff regularly. And if you have a creator or controversy you want me to dig into, drop it below.